Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dan. This is Dan's Diamond Detailing. Today I'm going to go over a quick video with two products. The first product we're going to be going over is Indo by QUIVER. Now this is a rinseless wash. Their directions are for cleaning, go to 256:1. For waterless, 128:1. Clean in glass and interior, 256:1. Not recommend on this label is in the foamer, which I will still test this out. I'm going to do at, for 32 ounces, I'm going to do 2 ounces of rinseless to see how this foams in the Xfoamr. Once we're done with the rinseless wash, we are going to try out the House of Rags exterior drying towels called the Weapon of Mass Drying, or WMD for short. So take this out. Now these are medium. Medium comes in a 2-pack. I have unwashed versions right here, and I also have in here, we will show you a little bit later, I have a small washed one and a medium washed. We will go over to test out if there's any significant difference once the towels have been washed. As you can see here, it folds very well. Very easy unfolding, which I personally think will be excellent for rinseless wash. Some of the stitching here, you can see it's 2 different types of fabric. I will post a photo right here to show you what it looks like under a microscope around 100x magnifying. But you can definitely tell there's 2 different types of fabrics here, and the stitching line is really nice. It's like a stiff edge. So let's go over that and see how these will go. Let's see, so this is medium. Let's see how big large is. I have not even opened this up yet, so let's check this out. This is large, which to me is very big. That's pretty big, okay? Probably about this size when you want to go on your car. Yeah, pretty good size. Let's put that back in. Folds very well. I'm already liking how light it is. It's not very heavy. Puts back in the bag pretty easily. And finally the small. I believe there's 3 in the small, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 3. Now the GSM is 1200 GSM. It's made in Korea, and the material is 70% polyester, 30% polyamide. Okay. And there's 2 here because, as I mentioned before, I have 1 washed. So this is the other 2. There's a significant stitch line. If you can kind of see in the middle, there's a fairly prominent stitch lines right in the middle. Okay, you can kind of see that there. All right, so today we will be trying out QUIVER Indo. It's a rinseless wash. His ingredients are very easy to see, very simple. 256:1 for cleaning, 128 for waterless, and for glass and interior, 256:1. I will also be testing out a 32 ounce to 2 ounces in the Xfoamr. Now we don't need that much, so we're going to do half of that, which will be 1 ounce for 500 milliliters. So let's give that a shot, shall we? First, let's get 2 gallons of water. Alrighty, now that we got 2 gallons of water in our rinseless wash bucket, we will open up Indo and give it a shot. Always shake your bottle. Kind of has like a fruity, coconutty smell. So 1 ounce for 2 gallons. Okay, so there's 1 ounce. You can see the consistency. It's like a darkish blue. Let's see how it mixes in with the water. Pretty good, as you see. Pretty good mixture. Okay, and now let's try 1 ounce into the Xfoamr with 500 milliliters of water. So it's about right around there, the half. Kind of hard to see with glasses on, just under. That should be good. Yeah, so 600 milliliters. Let's do 600 milliliters. And we are going to pour 1 ounce into the foam cannon. Give that a shot. Give that a shot. Let's see here. Little half turn, and off we go. Alrighty, let's try this. So today we have in the Xfoamr 1 ounce with 500 milliliters of water of I Am Josh V's Quiver branded Indo Rinseless wash. Let's give it a shot. Now, he does not recommend this dilution ratio, but I figured I wanted to give it a try. Looks like it covers very well. Smells good. Has like a very tropical, coconutty smell. And in the bucket here we have Indo at 256 to 1. Okay. Oh, super slick. Already noticing how slick this is. Very smooth. Yes, excellent. Yeah, that's very smooth. Let's come over that with the different side. See the window? You see that nice wetting on the window? Yeah, it's very slick. This is already, I'm already really happy with that. Let's see how this dunks. Yeah, it's very good. Look at that, the bubbles just go right away. I would say this 1 ounce to 500 milliliters, it was excellent. He doesn't have this recommended on the bottle, but I think you should try it yourself. I don't see any overt issues with it coming out of the water. Look at that. Look how excellent that is. Can't wait to see how this dries off. Look at that. This is just beautiful. I don't have any, over excessive bubbling like some of my other hybrid rinseless washes does. Okay. I don't have to go over the car 2 or 3 times because I have so much bubbles, or it makes me feel like I can't get all the bubbles away. All right, now let's come in with a drying towel. First, I want to try the small, which is probably aimed closest to rinseless. I think it's like a 9-inch by 11-inch. I'd have to look at the measurements online. So right away, let's see if you can see this. Let's see if I can get the light in here. You see those water droplets? Pretty good. I see almost no issues there. Let's try the window. Not too bad. Still see a little bit of lining there, but the paint just comes right off. Okay, now let's try a washed one. So now that I have the washed version in my hands here, so far the paint is good. Not bad. I feel some iron particles on the window. You could hear it. You could kind of feel that like scruffiness. The paint is super smooth. Very nice. Now let's try the medium towel here. Put this in the second pile. Let's try this medium all the way down here. Okay, camera's following me still. Still getting used to this new Osmo Pocket 3. All these cameras, so much learning to do. Good size. I kind of like this. This is the medium size, is pretty much my favorite perfect size. It folds super well. People were trying to compare this to the Gauntlet by the Rag Company, and I would say this is much lighter, a lot stiffer, and very easy to handle. The Gauntlet kind of, so I have the Gauntlet right here, if you can see, and see, it's so much heavier and floppier, and when I hold it, it's very hard to like kind of hold together. This is a lot stiffer. You can just tell. It's just so much stiffer. Here, I have to basically double fold it, and that's just uncomfortable. So as you can kind of tell, this one is really nice to kind of dry. This is a little floppier. So if you like a lighter, easier to fold towel, I would recommend going with the Weapon to Mass Drying. The Gauntlet is still a good towel. Obviously, I still have it here. I would say it probably weighs about twice as much. And I'll fold this later, and it's a lot softer. This one dries a lot quicker on the paint. I'm still kind of on the fence with the glass, but as you see on the glass here, it's gone. There's nothing there, okay? So it might show a little bit of lines, okay? But it's pretty much gone right away. I first pre-treated this glass with Indo. I don't know what the ratio is 1 ounce to 500 milliliters, and I foamed it on in the Xfoamr. And now I'm using Weapons of Mass Drying to dry off. I also used a sponge, rinseless sponge with Indo and a dilution of 256:1. Indo to me is very slick. When I was using the sponge, very slick. Noticeably slick, but drying. Maybe it's because I'm using way higher concentration than he's recommending, even though it has really no issues to me. It doesn't feel very slick on the drying. I don't feel much slickness at all here. Keep in mind, I am testing this in a much stronger dilution than he's recommending, so that could be a factor. He only recommends, it looks like the strongest concentration he recommends is 128:1, and this is, what, 1:15? Much stronger, and I think we still didn't really have any issues, as you can see. You can look closely. That's excellent. All right, so that's pretty much how you do a rinseless wash with Indo by Quiver. And on the final side of the car, I'm going to pre-spray with Indo by Quiver, 1:15. I'm going to knock it out with the sponge, 256:1. And then this time, the only difference I'm going to do is use Yum's detailer. I've already cut this 1:1, so it's already 50% strength. So we come in here, again, super slick on the sponge. Maybe it's because I'm doing 1:15. Could be. But man, this is butter. This is just straight silk. It's just so smooth. And the bubbles just die down very easily. Just exactly what you want in a rinseless wash. You can see it holding. You see it holding on the paint. Again, if you're outside in the sun, you kind of want the longest dwell time possible. I have the luxury of being inside my temperature controlled garage. It's about 61 degrees in here. It's about 35 degrees outside. And as you see, it just comes off so easily. I basically, even with filming, I washed this car quite easily in only, what, 20 minutes maybe? Super, super easy. I would definitely be checking out Indo if you're considering it. It has a very pleasant smell. This would be more of a summer fragrance. It's very fruity. I think because I foamed it on, it's even more pungent. I wouldn't say it's a super pungent smell. It's probably like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 for pungence. It's not very light. It's not very overpowering. Okay. So now, once we wipe the whole half off, the last 2 times we were trying without a drying aid, and I told you the drying felt it wasn't smooth. Using the sponge, it's super smooth. All right, so now we're gonna come in with the washed medium weapon of mass drying with the drying aid. Oh, I can smell Yum's detailer so good. Yum's detailer smells so good. And look how much easier that just dried off. Like, that's just crazy. Yum's detailer, as Eddie would say, it does God's work. Just to say it bluntly. Look at that. Look how excellent that is. It's hard to see. I don't have the best lighting on this side, but you can kind of see here how it just glides right off. You can see where I haven't gone. Okay. Medium. Okay, now we're going to try a small, unwashed. Do you see how the small is just so easy to just hold? Let's see if I can come in with the light here. You see how that small is just so easy to... Yeah, I don't have the best lighting here. Sorry, guys. That is just excellent. With the drying aid, and it smells so good. Yum's detailer. Yum's and GT are probably now my top 2 favorite quick detailers, and both of them I cut 50-50. If you've been watching my channel, I just recently made a video of testing out Yum Detailer 50-50, or I'm sorry, it was Garage Therapy's Detailer 50-50 with the House of Rags Infinity ceramic sealant. And boy, that smelled like cotton candy. It was so sweet. And again, if you know anything about Infinity, it can be very stout. And I had absolutely no issues applying. I think they're calling it the perfect storm. So yeah, man, that's excellent. Super easy. Thank you so much for coming in. Once you're done with your towels, now Yum Detailer doesn't have any protection, but to play it safe and to have a good habit, you should always dump your towels in some sort of rinseless solution. Here I have Armor Detail Supply Hero 256-1, and I have that just to soak for a soaking bucket. So be sure to do something like that if you're ever needing to keep your towels from getting clogged. And thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, today we went over Indo by Quiver. This is I Am Josh V's rinseless wash. I applied it in the rinseless wash bucket at 256-1. I also did an unconventional method of putting it in the Xfoamr at a 1:15 dilution ratio, which was about 1 ounce to 15 ounces, or 30 milliliters to 500 milliliters. That actually went very well. I love the smell. It was like a nice dark blue, slightly chalky. It blended very well in the water. It has a very tropical scent. I probably recommend using this in like warmer environments, like outside summer days. But the main attraction today was for the House of Rags Weapon of Mass Drying. This drying towel is 1200 GSM. The small comes in 3 towels, the medium comes in 2 towels, and the large comes in 1 very large towel. It is relatively light. It's very stiff-edged border, and it has 2 different microfibers. I really like the medium personally. I think the medium is the perfect size for rinseless wash. You can see it apply. You can hold it very easily on the car. I think the small is very good for like bring it with you for like waterless washes or any sort of like light touch-ups. Maybe the wheels. I haven't tried it on the wheels yet. And I think the large might be just a little bit too big for me unless you're using like a very large vehicle, like a truck or an SUV or something like that, or a van. What else here? I'm thinking. Ultimately, I think the weight is my biggest perk. The weight and the stiffness of the edges. I really like how it folds very easily. My biggest drawback to these towels is that I'm not completely sold on how they are with the glass. Now, if you saw in the video, my glass is definitely contaminated. You can feel like the scruffiness on the glass. You could hear it. You could hear it in the video if you listen closely. The paint is very smooth, but the glass, I can't feel it right now, but when I was drying with the towel, there was definitely some sort of like scruffiness feeling. So I want to decon my car with a nice iron remover and then come back again with this towel and try it. But ultimately, this towel I think is excellent. Will it replace my Divas? I don't know. That's going to be hard. I'm a big fan of the Rinseless Diva, also by the House of Rags. As you notice, the size difference between the Diva. So you can see this is the medium, okay? And this is their Rinseless size. I think this is just smaller than their medium, and I think this is perfect. It's also, I'd have to look it up, but I think this is also 1200 GSM. This feels thicker. It's a little bit more pliable, okay? But I don't know, maybe I'm just used to it, but I personally like this size. So the Rinseless Diva is probably my ultimate favorite rinseless towel. And then this will be probably a close second. I need to try it out a little bit more, but ultimately, very good. I'm a big fan of how it folds. It folds very well. And thanks again. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I know I'm relatively new, so feel free to show me support and you'll be seeing more videos like this in the future. Thanks again.